Well, hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Welcome to 2022. So, at this time of year, many of us don't care about the date and the new year and what's happening here and um, set any resolutions. I certainly don't, or find, our theme of the year or what needs to happen or any of that. That just seems to be uninteresting to me at this point, especially with like self-inquiry and noticing the present moment, the present day, new moment, always offered an option here. And yet at the same time, because it is a new year on the calendar, at least in the Western calendar here, um, people are thinking a lot about a reset and their intentions and their desires and what hasn't worked and what does work. And so let's think about the word reset because I've heard it about 3 times in the past few days alone. People really feel like, what is it that when you reset, when we take technology and reset, you like push the power button and hold it down until everything turns off, and then you open it again and everything starts fresh and they update itself and apps, become new and the machine works in a more speedy, clean way. Don't we want that for our mind? Which, like in the is a machine. It really does seem like a simple machine. It's got its movement all over the place, and let's just consider it and define it as a thinking machine, a machine that puts out thought energy. And nice to have that thing get reset. Why we even want it to be reset is the same reason we want to reset our computer. We want to stop everything that's running in the background. We want to eliminate unnecessary apps. We want to update the software. We'd like to see things fresh and new, and we'd like things to run a little better. And when it comes to food and eating, oh my God, is that true? So it's gotten chaotic and large and heavy and big, and a flurry of eating over here on this side. And then in this world of duality, it seems to swing over here and be something we need to control and manage and get harsh with and, be restrictive and make a decision and make food plans and rules and regulations. Those are the two typical kind of swings in the opposite direction that the mind comes up with, is how to be with all of this, like either just go chaotic or get really controlled. So I want to reset because neither one of those are very peaceful and they don't seem to work. Reset. I love thinking about this. It's nice that some people have brought this up. So you can do it right now in this moment. If you did not move very quickly into reaching for what is out there in the world for advice or safety or being rescued, being saved from all the heavy eating or all the under eating and management. If you just stopped thinking, I've got to find the answer out there, just notice that the assumption you're making right in all that is what I am, who I am, how I am, is not enough. I often found that when I had that perspective about food and eating, all that I thought about food and eating was the same I thought about as reality. It's either too much or not enough. And people were the same way too. And I myself, or emotions and feelings, or all of it was the same. Too much or not enough. Never just right. Never in balance. Always needing a reset. Like it would kind of build and build and build and then so let's do it right now. Who would you be without your story? I know it's a huge, deep, wide question, but like just looking at the way you've been with food and eating and how it feels broken and damaged and difficult, and the reaching out, and then the thinking and thinking and thinking about it. Who are you without all your stories about food and eating? And that what a reset looks like is fasting or doing something extreme over here, going on a water fast or whatever. I've just heard this a bit. It's the new year and we're going to reset by actually not eating at all. So, who would you be without the story? You don't have what it takes. You are not enough. You can't find the answer. You can't find the peace within that you so incredibly long for. What if that's a thought? And what if your thought is not accurate? I mean, we already know that our thinking isn't the whole picture. No matter how smart you are and how much you know about things, you don't know the whole entire story. So who would you be? Who are we without the story? I need to reset in a way that feels difficult or painful. And here's an interesting thing. It might feel before you push the reset button, like I've had it. Boom. I don't care what gets lost. Don't we do that when we reset the computer? Turn off the whole thing. I don't care what gets lost. I don't care what I might never have again. I don't care what copies get deleted. We're just going to reset. And that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. But notice that in that pattern of technology, the thing just begins then to build again, and there is some loss. And absolutely nothing wrong with it. It's the right step to take often with lots of computer programs running in the background. But what if we just drop below and just let all those programs be there, know that they are, and just right now, if I had, noticing, could I access, if I had peace within, I'm standing on solid ground, I'm a living human being with a body. I was born with the capacity for total balance and peace. I was born normal, if you would call it that. I didn't have something missing that didn't help me find, hunger and then fullness and hunger and fullness. That's there. It's built in. There's something about my thinking and my panic and my feelings and my impulses and my cravings that come up are just, I'm not willing to slow down and be with them. I haven't been willing to. I've been too afraid. So if I really attended to what is, who would I be without my stories, my images, the pictures running, the feelings that I think are so completely true? Who would I be without all that if I just sat still? It's why people love to meditate. It is a reset. Meditation. Being slower with it. Being slower as we work with eating. It doesn't mean the only kind of peaceful meal that you'll ever have when food is actually, being consumed looks like really slow eating. Sometimes I grab something and run out of the house. But I've got something has come alive. It's very, very much in the forefront of what fullness and hunger is. And I follow that. It's the simple directions. I follow it because I'll lose if I don't. I lose out. The mind gets busy and upset and angry, furious, agonizing, full. But without all that, just out being really caught and grabbed and listening to and believing, with this notion of what believing is, my thoughts, my story. I'm able to reset by asking myself that question, by dropping in to the body, by feeling my feet on the floor, by noticing I don't always know what's true, that I haven't known what to eat, but it's okay. It's okay. And it's okay that I have education and all of it. but a reset. Do it now. I don't need a special program. I don't need to get really super rigid and harsh and intense about it. And I don't need to say that resetting is going to be so hard or tough. I'm going to do it later. So right now I'm going to eat a whole bunch. Right now it's the holiday, so I'm just going to eat my head off. You don't need to. We don't need to anymore. We're not waiting in the future for this resetting thing to go underway and then to start fresh and new. That will be temporary. If we have that, sure, there can be some interesting feelings about that and the paradox of it, of just noticing, wow, I enroll in a class and I begin to learn, and I do some kind of read a book, and it brings in really interesting information. And who would I be without the story? That information was for sure missing. I wouldn't have been able to find the peace within without it. Just a notion. It doesn't mean you shouldn't go seeking where you think something interesting will be revealed, or have great curiosity, because I notice a tremendous curiosity. My favorite thing is reading books. I love it. I love watching a good movie. I love watching documentaries. I like taking in information. I consume it. I love the word that we use, consume. And I also love sitting in silence. Reset. So you can do it right now, or for any troubling moment when you've got the thing running and buzzing bzz, bzz, all over yourself around food or eating and what needs to be done about this predicament. It's just to drop down below, underneath, right now. Right now you can feel it and do it. Close your eyes as you're listening to this. You notice the suffering you've experienced in the past. You imagine the suffering of the future. And now feel right now, if I didn't have to know anything. Because I see that we don't. There's so much we don't know. Don't know is safe. Don't know is safe. Don't need to grab. Don't need to avoid. Don't need to run. Who would you be without your story? Can I relax in this present moment? Yes, I can. Except for my thinking, something is already relaxed here, holding us, present. We're okay. Except for my thoughts and my feelings, saying, yelling, go eat, or set up a program. We're okay. And I really want to say here that it does not mean I don't set up something and follow that and see if it works. There's been so much to learn there. So I'm not rigidly saying any one way works or the other, but it can be very stressful if you think, here, the way I am is wrong. And resetting this whole thing is the only way out. And there can be some truth in it, resetting the mind by just allowing it to drop into who I am if I don't believe what it's saying. It says some pretty bonkers things, like even eat it when you're already full is not that in balance. And also starve yourself to death when you actually need some nourishment is also not in balance. And they both line up with each other. So let's come to the middle. Reset now. Right now. Already reset. You have access to what is reset. What is all the way underneath and turned off, like way down at the bottom of the ocean, even though there's a hurricane on top. Just peaceful, paused, relaxed, present. It's who you are without thought, but conscious. You are without thought. All right? Lots of love and enjoy yourselves.